Straight all day.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you have expected to achieve, where is it? It has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves me and you and everyone else out there to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And we put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one show, one master class. It is right here, and it is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is how to be positive and calm when everyone else is afraid, when everyone else is nervous, everybody else is fearful, everyone else is running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and the sky is falling. How do you remain positive? How do you remain calm and poised in those situations? How and why would you even want to do this? Now, right now is a good time for this subject, as at least as of the date that I am recording this. I'm believing that by the time you hear this, that we're still going to be dealing with this issue of this virus that is spreading across the world and maybe has spread across the United States by the time you're hearing this. Maybe it is starting to subside. Hopefully it's starting to subside by the time you hear about this. But the way that it's been talked about and the projections and the way things have been shut down and canceled for X amount of time, it seems like everyone is projecting that this coronavirus situation is going to be going on for at least until what? Early into the summer. We're talking into of course the whole thing started kind of, we heard about it in February, then in March things start shutting down, and then in March people canceled things through April, so basically the whole month of April got canceled out. Then some people canceled even into May, or maybe we're like, all right, well, take a look at things in May and see how that is. Some people are going as far into June and July, and who knows how long things are going to be going here. I was just reading that the Olympics might not even happen, and by the time you are listening to this, that might have already been announced, or maybe it's still going to go on, or countries are going to pull out and not go, whatever. But now is a good time for this either way. All right, knowing all of that, we got this coronavirus thing going on, and it's causing all kinds of issues at different levels for many different people. Some people are getting mildly sick and recovering. Some people are getting gravely ill and dying. Some people are not getting anything at all, but their lives are affected by it because they're supposed to stay in the house and social distance themselves, and there's nothing to do because the mall is closed, the restaurants are closed, nobody can go anywhere where you can gather, you can't go to the movies, you can't go on a date. There's nothing that you can do because all these things are closed, and even in buildings things are closing down, the gyms are closed, the swimming pools are closed, and it's summertime, so all these things are going on, causing different kinds of issues for a lot of different people at a lot of different levels and damn near all over the world. And it seems like, as I said, it's supposed to get worse from the time that I'm recording this to the time that you hear it. But the thing is, regardless of the coronavirus or whatever the next thing is going to happen and impact the world, because there's always a thing. All right, in life there will always be a thing. All right, what we're talking about here today is that since there will always be things, there will always be a situation. Next year or later this year, there'll be some other form of coronavirus. It's maybe not a sickness, but it'll be maybe something that happens. We got a presidential election coming up later in 2020. So who knows how that's going to go and how the losing side is going to react. Because I think whoever loses this upcoming election, there's going to be a whole lot of reaction going on. And there will always be situations, both at the macro level and at the micro level in all of our lives, that we will have to deal with. Today's show is about how to deal with them a certain way that I'm going to suggest that you deal with them, and why to deal with them in that way in life. Since, as the saying goes, you will always either be in the midst of a problem, coming out of a problem, or on your way into a problem, even if you don't know about it. Point number one, today's topic once again, is how to be positive and calm and poised when everyone else is nervous, anxious, fearful, and afraid. Number one, the reason why you want to do this is because this is what leaders do. That's a good enough reason. A leader, when everyone else is unsure, anxious, fearful, worried, stressed out, leaders are calm, collected, relaxed, certain, and unbothered by circumstance. Let me give you those adjectives again. When everyone else is anxious, fearful, and worried, a leader, doesn't matter if they have a title of leader, but the person who is going to be a leader in that situation is the person who is calm, collected, relaxed, certain, and unbothered by circumstance. That's what people who are leaders, that's how they project themselves. That's the way they carry themselves. That's the reason why they can be leaders, is because they carry themselves with that type of energy that allows other people to confidently follow them. That's what makes them a leader. So if you want to be a leader, you don't have to have a certain job title or put anything on your business card or have a certain number of online followers. All you got to do is conduct yourself with the same type of energy that any leader would. People who are in the military or maybe police officers, politicians, athletes as well, we are trained to, or either we're trained or we learn via experience to, quote, keep our heads, close quote, when things get tense. To not fly off the handle, to not have these emotional reactions and emotional outbursts to things that are happening in the moment, especially things which we don't control. This is all part of the training or as part of the learning that you get through being in the military, being a police officer, being in politics, being an athlete when things get tense. And these same skills and tools that we learn and tools that we develop in the course of being out in the field, so to speak, in our professions, these things apply just as well in everyday life. And this is how people who are in those roles, they carry themselves as leaders, even if you don't know who they are. You can tell, like, this person just seems like somebody who we should follow. Why? Because as I talked about in masterclass number 1025, this is one that comes up a lot. The opportunities in life are always in the opposites. When everyone else is losing their heads, everyone else is not knowing what to do, everybody else is worried, everybody else is like, damn, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? I have no idea how we're going to respond to this. I don't know what to say. Man, I didn't think it was going to happen this way. And people don't even know what to say. like that. The leader is the person who's calm and relaxed and poised and collected, and they can see clearly what can be done, what can't be done, how to respond. Notice respond, not react. There's a difference between the two. Those are the people that everyone else is going to follow. So if you are not from one of these backgrounds of politics, police, military, sports, then maybe you haven't had this training, maybe you haven't had this type of learning, but maybe you have in some other area that I didn't mention. But you can look to people who are from these backgrounds and just notice the way that they conduct themselves when things start to fly off the handle, and that'll give you a pretty good visual of how to respond when things start going crazy if you want to step into a position of leadership, if you want to be in a position of leadership, whether that's leadership of other people or even just self-leadership. So if you want examples, go watch some sports games. Go watch a movie. Movies do a good job of this, of making sure you notice the person who's the leader, the person who remains calm when everything else starts going crazy. There are plenty of movies that give you an example of that. I don't even watch movies like that, but I know every movie does it when they do this. So when you're the person who is, while everybody else is losing their heads, not knowing what to do, when you're the opposite of that, because that's where the opportunity is, as I told you in Masterclass 1025, people will follow you. They will do what you say do. They will respond to what you're saying. They will follow your energy simply because you have a different energy from everyone else in that space at that time. And especially at a time when everyone is at a emotional peak. Point number 2. Today's topic is how to be positive and calm when everyone else is nervous, anxious, and afraid. Remember that being anxious and afraid does not solve a problem any better or any faster than addressing it calmly and rationally does. Say that again. Remember that being anxious and afraid does not, will not, and has never solved any problem any better nor any faster than addressing a problem calmly and rationally will solve. You know what being anxious and afraid and nervous does? It raises your cortisol levels. That's a stress hormone. It interrupts some of your involuntary bodily functions. It puts a whole lot of noise in your mind. It slows down a lot of your thinking, and if it does speed up your thinking, it's only speeding up irrational, reactive thinking, which is not the kind of thinking that you want to be doing. You'd rather be doing responsive thinking than reactive thinking. So that kind of energy, it does give you an energy boost. It does give you a jolt of adrenaline, but you don't want that adrenaline coursing through your veins at all times, especially when it's in the fight or flight. Is the fight or flight response type of energy. You don't want that. You only want to be using fight or flight energy when you actually are in a situation where you have to fight or you have to flee the scene of a situation. So if that means your life is in danger, or there's some animal trying to attack you and you need to run away from the rabid dog, or you need to fight and defend yourself because someone's attacking you and you haven't been able to resolve that situation verbally, now you got to physically defend yourself or attack that person back. Those are the only times you want to have fight or flight energy coursing through your veins. Otherwise, you rather respond to things calmly and rationally. It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have any energy in that time, it's just you have calmer energy. You can still perform, you can still do your thing, but you can do it through rational energy without the stress hormone of cortisol going through you. The situation itself, ladies and gentlemen, is neutral. Every situation in life is neutral. Allowing your stress levels to increase over a situation, a neutral situation, will not make that situation any better, will not allow you to handle the situation any more easily. What you want is to be able to move yourself to solution-based thinking and solution-based actions in which you will think more clearly and remain in a calm state of mind no matter how things are going around you. Situations, again, they are neutral. Situation itself is not positive. Situations are not good or bad. They're neutral. The only thing that makes a situation good or bad for any of us is just the way that we decide to look at the situation. So when you allow your stress levels to increase over a situation that is neutral, that means you're reacting to the situation. You don't want to react to a situation. You want to respond to a situation. So notice what's going on. Then with your rational thinking still intact, because you didn't allow cortisol to start going through you and the stress to go up, what you do instead is you can choose the response that you're going to have instead of just reacting knee-jerk wise to whatever's going on. And when you choose your response, then you'll be able to have solution-based thinking and take solution-based actions based on your clear and calm state of mind, clear and calm thinking, no matter how crazy things may be going around you and how crazy everyone else is getting and emotional and reactive everyone else is getting around you. Point number 3. Today's topic is how to remain calm and poised and clear-headed when everyone else is anxious, nervous, and afraid. Point number 3, remember that energy is contagious. Your steadiness in any situation, when everyone else is reactive, everyone else is worried, everyone else is afraid, everyone else is getting emotional, everyone else is they're just getting all out of whack, they can't control themselves anymore. Your steadiness in that situation will allow everyone else to relax. All right? Your energy, if it's stronger than the other person's, your energy will win out and they will start following your lead. Now, if the other person's energy, if another person is anxious and afraid and nervous, or everyone else is, and you allow their energy to overwhelm your energy, you will eventually be infected by how they feel and you're going to start feeling how they feel. But if instead your energy is stronger, they will start to be infected by the way that you feel. Your steadiness will allow everyone else to relax, and everyone will stop as they start following you. There'll be a chain reaction. They will stop infecting each other with anxiety and stress. Because remember, anxiety and stress and this cortisol, this fight or flight, it doesn't make anything better. Or you might feel like it makes things better because when you get into fight or flight mode, what you're doing is somehow, some way distancing yourself from the stimulus that caused you to even get into fight or flight. The thing that's causing you stress, you distance yourself from it. So if you fight, then you distance yourself from it by pushing it away, fighting, right? If you flee, then you are escaping away from it. But either way, you are getting away from the thing that's causing stress. So then you start to feel better because the stress goes away and your cortisol levels, your stress hormones go down, but you didn't actually make the situation better. You didn't change anything. All you did was move yourself away from what the situation was. You did not actually handle the situation. The situation still exists. You just moved away from it or moved it away from you. So unless you are saving your own life with your fight or flight response, that stress hormone is not helping you. It is not helping anyone else. Any of you who has a dog and you walk your dog, they say that the energy of the person who is holding the leash when you're walking a dog, that energy transfers to the dog. So if you come across a high-strung, edgy human being, then you're going to notice a high-strung, edgy dog. If you notice a calm, relaxed, and poised dog, then you're going to notice a calm, relaxed, and poised individual. So next time you walk past someone who has a dog, and you walk close enough to them that the dog notices you and the person notices you, notice how the dog responds to you, or if the dog responds to you at all, or how the dog reacts to you. If it reacts to you, I guarantee that's the exact same energy being carried by the human being who is holding that leash. So you might not even know that person, never seen them before, they didn't say anything to you, you might not even looked at you, but by the response that you get from the dog, or the reaction you get from the dog, it'll tell you everything you need to know about that human being. And I have seen this in real life. I've seen dogs walk with certain humans and they're being all reactive and they're barking at things and lunging at other dogs and having this all kind of neurotic energy. And I'm like, why is this dog doing this? The dog's not going to do anything. It'd be a little tiny dog. It's not going to hurt anybody, but it's barking at every other dog as if it wants to attack and all this stuff. Then that same dog being walked by a different person and it doesn't do any of that. You don't even know if the dog barks. You're not even sure the dog even barks at all because it doesn't bark at anyone. It's not lunging at anyone. It's very relaxed. It's very calm. Why? Because the energy of the human being that is holding the leash controls the energy of the dog, or it transfers to the energy of the dog. Or it could be the other way around. If the dog's energy is stronger than the human's energy, then the dog can start infecting the energy of the human with calm, rational energy, or with high-strung, out-of-control energy. So the dog can affect the human the same way the human can affect the dog. Energy is contagious, ladies and gentlemen. So how do you know whose energy is going to control the other person's energy? It's whoever's energy is stronger. When two people walk together, they will eventually walk at the same pace, which means either one person has to slow down or another person has to speed up, but they will walk at the same pace. It's whoever's energy is stronger, the other people or person adjusts to that energy. So you as the leader, you as the calm, poised, self-assured, relaxed individual, your energy will infect everyone else and they will start following your lead energy-wise, and then they'll follow your lead on a more conscious level once you have established yourself as a leader. But this is why you need to be doing this especially when people are emotional, when people are starting to get anxious, when people are fearful, is, as we recap today's topic, being positive and calm when everyone else is afraid. And it's a great time for this now, since we have all kinds of stuff going on in the world that's affecting everybody. You may have some stuff going on in your world that only people in your world know about, but it's affecting you. And people are starting to react. People are starting to get anxious. People are getting fearful. People are not knowing how to respond to the situation. This is when you as a leader step up. And this is something I didn't even say here in today's episode. When you do this, again, you're giving yourself some calm, clear thinking. Actually, I did talk about this in point number 2. So let me just recap the topic since I did already talk about that. Point number 1. This is what leaders do. When everyone else is unsure and anxious and fearful and worried, leaders are calm, collected, relaxed, certain, and unbothered by circumstance. Does not mean that they are ignoring the circumstance. It does not mean they will not handle the circumstance. It just means they are not allowing the energy of the circumstance to infect them and cause energy within them that they don't want. This is what leaders do. They control the energy of the situation. They do not allow the energy of the situation to control them. So when everyone else gets fearful and worried, they can relax. People who are in the military, police officers, politicians, athletes, we are trained or we learn via experience to keep our heads when things get tense. And it applies in everyday life just as it does at work or in a sport or in school. In Masterclass 1025, I told you that the opportunity is in the opposite. So when everyone else is losing their heads and not knowing what to do, just be the opposite of that, and that will make you a leader by default. Point number 2. Remember that being anxious and afraid does not solve a problem any better nor any faster than addressing a situation calmly and rationally. Okay? Situation itself is neutral. Allowing your stress levels to increase over it will not make it any better. What you want is to get into solution-based thinking and take solution-based actions, which will allow you to think more clearly and in a calm state of mind no matter how crazy things are around you. Point number 3. Energy is contagious. Your steadiness will allow everyone else to relax, and everyone will stop infecting each other with anxiety and stress. Because remember, energy is infectious. So if one person's feeling it, they're going to infect the other person. Whoever energy is stronger, they will infect everyone else with their energy. Stress does not make anything better. Unless you are saving your own life with a fight or flight response, that stress hormone will not help you. So anyone who has a dog, you know this. When you have that leash on the dog, you are infecting that dog with your energy, or the dog will infect you. Whoever's energy is stronger is going to affect the other person. And it works in life with humans the same way it works with humans walking a dog on a leash. So this is why and how you need to keep yourself calm through whatever situation is going on in the world, whatever situation is going on in your world. When you're calm and relaxed, you will make better decisions, and you'll probably solve that problem much better, or solve the problem, period, when you can keep yourself in a calm and collected, unbothered state of mind. Much more clear thinking. And since you're already smart, when you're thinking clearly, you'll probably make smart decisions. It just makes sense. Work on your game. Dre, all